watching Let's Chat.
We are glad to have you back with us as we continue. Every few weeks, we get to spend a few minutes with Warren and Griffin. However, only half of Warren and Griffin is here. That is Mark Warren. Along with Mark Warren is Judge Judge Russell Bean.
Close, Roy Bean.
Did the timing on that come off?
That came out great.
Came out great. Minutes and minutes.
Right.
Judge Bean, good to see you here. Seriously.
Good to see you.
I'm not sure you've ever been here live on this show with us.
Oh, not on your show, but I've been here, and I saw Kay Blevins and Bill Mitchell out front. It's like old time here.
Yeah, you had the old thing right when you mentioned
it. He played a dirty trick on us.
No
He
way.
Put a beautiful blonde ahead of us.
Absolutely.
I certainly did.
Yes.
Don't think that wasn't intentional.
I guarantee you.
In fact, we were going to get Bear from Bear's Barbershop to hang around and give you a little...
Oh, I need one.
Yeah,
I need one. You're right.
Periodically, when you were here, when you have your partner here, you talk about driving situations, the texting and driving, which you guys were instrumental in putting into law. And Judge Bean had something on Chattanooga.com a while back talking about the need to put driver's ed back in school. I want to ask both of you, from your professional chairs, why in the world did we ever take driver's ed out of public schools?
Judge Bean?
There's one word: money.
Money.
Yeah. I've been, for 22 years now, I've been trying to get driver's ed back in school. I went with Judy Appleby. I don't know if you recall her. She was with the Lakers group. She had lost her son, and I went to the legislature with her, and also with Alan Brown from Georgia. Alan lost his son, Joshua, and actually had passed the Joshua law in Georgia where they have driver's ed. And so we went to the legislature, and it did not work out financially. I went back up trying to get simulators a few years ago, and I tried to do that through the lottery, and they wouldn't do it.
I tell you both in all sincerity, I probably took more away from my driver's ed class than I did just about any other class in high school. Let's face it, who remembers their trigonometry from high school? I remember things I learned in driver's ed to this day. And to reinforce that, for his company, my dad was a defensive driver instructor. Those things, once you get them up here, you can't forget them.
Right.
Kids are at a disadvantage, and I mean kids whether you're 16 or you're 20 and just getting your driver's license. Kids are at a disadvantage if they don't have these weapons in their toolbox.
Chip, there are people now 50 years old that have never had driver's education. I mean, it's been out that long.
And you know, you can sometimes tell it. All you have to do is pull over the side of the road.
And really what has happened, what goes around comes around, and fatalities are up in 2022 because of speed. Speed kills. People are driving faster. And there's 25% of all wrecks are caused by speeding. Quicker, there's no reaction time if you're speeding. Young kids think they can drive 20 miles over the speed limit and be safe. When the pandemic was in place, you had less cars on the road, and people sped because there were less cars on the road. Now you have more cars on the road, and people are still speeding. We need to do something to nip this in the bud, like we did with never texting and driving.
Which was instrumental in getting that law passed. I want to ask you, what do you do when somebody comes before you, when you're robed up and behind the bench and they have been cited for texting and driving, and that's usually accompanied by a number of other offenses, whether it's a wreck, whether it's speeding or whatever. When you see texting while driving on the paperwork in front of you, what do you tell him?
I know what he does, because I've been standing there with my client when it happens. Tell him, Judge, what you do.
Well, of course, sometimes it depends on if it's a young driver, I send them to defensive driving school. But if it's someone else, I fine them, you know, and chastise them. But I want to get back to speed just a little bit.
Sure.
The faster people go, the less time they have to react, and the faster they go when they hit something, it's more violent. And I see a lot of wrecks, speed. People follow too close, which has to do with speed. They get up behind cars. Yeah. And then, like you say, not paying attention. It's not just texting, it's telephones, it's talking.
Sure.
And the reason this has been triggered, Chip, is we've lost 3 young drivers since Christmas We lost one right at Christmas, and then we lost one 16 years old and one 17 years old just recently.
I would like to have you both come back and we'll spend more time talking about this, but it is a deadly problem. And I'm not using that word lightly, and it affects all of us. If you think you probably know someone who has been involved in a wreck because of excessive speed, you may well know someone who has lost their lives or someone in their family has, all because of excessive speeding. And it's one of those things that can be so easily corrected. Now, you can take the No Text and Drive pledge. All you have to do is stop by the Warren and Griffin office. You can also find out more by checking out the website on your screen, accessgrantedtrafficschool.com. This is an affordable way for you to get your children driver's ed. They need it. And I'm firmly behind the two of you guys. We need to have it back in school without doubt. I think it ought to be a requirement, personally.
I applaud Mark and his firm for stepping up.
I applaud both of you. We're going to bring you back. We got to leave. Judge, good to see you. Judge Roy, Judge Russell Bean, and Mark Warren. See you tomorrow.